Welcome children. In the previous session, we have studied what is an electric flux. Electric flux means it represents the number of electric field lines crossing a given area. Now, in this session, we are going to study the electric flux in a non-uniform electric field and an arbitrarily shaped area. Electric flux in a non-uniform electric field. And an arbitrarily shaped area. What is the meaning for the term arbitrary? It means chosen randomly. Okay. So you have calculated the electric flux in the case of a uniform electric field previously. Now you consider a non-uniform electric field. And we are going to take an area which is not flat. It is a curved surface. So it will be like this. So let us consider a it is a curved surface and the field is non-uniform. The field is a non-uniform electric field. So it is represented as E vector. So how will you calculate the electric flux for this curved surface? So in order to calculate the flux, let us divide the entire area into small segments. We can divide it as a small segment. And take a small segment. So this is a portion delta A1. This is delta A1. Like that, the entire curved surface is divided into large number of small elements, and each area element is almost flat, and we have to consider that the electric field over this small area is uniform. So how will you write the electric flux for the entire area? We can write it as phi E is equal to, that is the total flux due to the entire curved surface, is equal to E1 dot delta A1 plus E2 dot delta A2 plus etc. En dot delta An. So we can write it as sigma I is equal to 1 to n Ei dot delta Ai. So how this area becomes a vector? If you draw a normal to the area, it will become an area vector. So here also, if you draw a normal to this area, it is making an angle theta with the electric field, and this is the area vector. This is the area vector. So by taking this delta Ai vector tends to 0, If this area is very small, then the summation in the equation will become an integration. So how will you write the equation? We can write it as phi e is equal to integral E dot dA. So it is a dot product of two vectors. Therefore, electric flux is a scalar. Or we can write it as integral E dA cos theta. E dot dA can be written as E dA cos theta. So from this equation, we can understand that the electric flux for a given surface depends on both the electric field as well as the orientation of the surface with respect to the electric field. So the phi e depends on electric field and also the theta value. The next one is, what is the electric flux for closed surfaces? Electric flux for closed surfaces. So previously we have studied how to calculate the electric flux for a curved surface. Now let us take a closed surface, and it is like this. It is a closed surface and it is kept in a non-uniform electric field. In this case, how will you calculate the electric flux? So the electric field is a non-uniform electric field. So for this electric field, when a closed surface is kept, we are going to calculate the electric flux, and this can be written as phi e is equal to the electric flux over this closed surface is equal to integral over a closed surface E dot dA. The difference between the previous equation and this equation is that here in the integration is done over a closed surface, and for each areal element the outward normal is the direction of dA. That is, here the area is like this. So the areal vector is in this direction. Similarly here, the area vector is acting in this direction. So the total electric flux over a closed surface can be negative. Phi e may be negative, positive or 0. Positive or 0. So we know already what is electric flux. It represents a number of lines crossing, electric field lines crossing a given area. How can this number be negative? One doubt come to your mind, how this flux be negative? It depends on the value of theta. It depends on the value of theta. So based on the angle of orientation, the theta value, based on the theta value, the electric flux may be negative, positive or 0. So if you look at this diagram, then the angle between dA and E is less. It is less than 90 degree. In this case, the electric flux is positive. The electric flux is positive. And here if you consider here, the angle between the aerial vector and the electric field is greater than 90 degree. As a result, the electric flux is negative. Suppose if the surface is perpendicular to the electric field, if this is the electric field and this is the aerial vector and the angle between them is 90 degree, then phi E will become 0. The electric flux is equal to 0. So based on the value of theta, the value varies, the flux value varies. The next one is we are going to study Gauss law. What is Gauss law, or what is the importance of this law? This Gauss law is applicable only for closed surface. It is applicable for closed surface, and the important aim of this law is to find electric field for a given charge distribution enclosed by a closed surface. To find the electric field. To find electric field over a closed surface. Over a closed surface. That is the aim of this law. Now let me explain what is Gauss law. Let us consider a charge Q. It is a point charge. It is a charge Q and it is surrounded by an imaginary sphere of radius r. So let us draw an imaginary sphere. The radius of this sphere is r. So we can calculate the total electric flux through this closed surface, because the electric field lines are passing perpendicular to the closed surface. We can calculate the total electric flux through the closed surface. How can we write? We write phi E is equal to integral E dot dA is equal to integral over a closed surface E dA cos theta. E dA cos theta. The electric field is directed radially outward at all the points. Therefore, what is the value of theta? For example, if you take a closed surface here, if you take a closed surface, the area vector is also acting along this direction. Electric field is also acting along this direction. Therefore, theta will become 0. So, in this case, what is a flux? The flux phi E is equal to integral over a closed surface E into dA, where cos 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, E into dA cos 0 is equal to 1. The electric field is assumed to be uniform, therefore take it outside. We can integrate dA. And it is a sphere. What is the surface area of a sphere? It is 4 pi r square. Integral over a closed surface dA is equal to 4 pi r squared, where r is the radius of the sphere. And we also know E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Substituting these values, what will you get? You will get phi E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r squared into 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square get cancelled and we get q by epsilon naught. This equation is called Gauss law. Phi e is equal to q by epsilon naught. This is called Gauss law. This equation is true for any arbitrary shaped surface which encloses the charge q. So, in that closed surface charge must be present, then only this equation is applicable. And we can also say that the total electric flux, for example, if you consider a point charge q and we can take three different closed surfaces around it. This is a spherical shaped one. The other one is of irregular shape. And the another one is of another irregular shape. If you take the areas as A1, A2 and A3, the flux through each area remains the same. The flux through, so the electric field lines are drawn around this charge. So, phi EA1 is equal to phi EA2 is equal to phi EA3. So, all the closed surfaces, whether it is nearer or far away, the flux remains the same because the electric flux is independent of distance. So, the net electric flux is the same through all surfaces. So, what is the statement of Gauss law? If a charge q is enclosed by an arbitrary closed surface, then the total electric flux through the closed surface is phi e is equal to integral over a closed surface E dot dA is equal to q enclosed by epsilon naught. Here q enclosed represents charges inside the closed surface. So, within the closed surface that we are taking, it must consist of the charges. Now, we are going to discuss the Gauss law. What are the important things that you have to note? The first point is the total electric flux through the closed surface depends only on the charges enclosed by the surface, and the charges present outside the surface will not contribute to the flux, and the shape of the closed surface which can be chosen arbitrarily. For example, if you consider a closed surface and if you consider, so this is a closed charged object, and if you are taking a Gaussian surface within that, you have to consider the charges that are present within the closed surface. There may be charges outside the closed surface also, but we are not considering the charges outside the closed surface. We are considering the charges within the closed surface. So, we have to consider the charges within the closed surface. Because a Gaussian surface is an imaginary closed surface. So, we have to consider the charges that are within the closed surface. The second one is the total electric flux is independent of the location of the charges inside the closed surface. So, within the closed surface, the charges may locate at anywhere. So, we have to consider the magnitude of charges, but not the location of the charges. It may locate anywhere. So, we need not consider the location of the charges. Location of charges. The third point is for the equation that is phi E is equal to integral over a closed surface E dot dA is equal to q enclosed by epsilon naught. This is for a spherical surface we have taken, and that spherical surface is an imaginary surface which is a Gaussian surface. So the shape of the Gaussian surface depends on the charge configuration. For example, if the charges are distributed in a wire, the Gaussian surface may be a cylindrical one. So depending upon the charge configuration, the shape of the Gaussian surface will be chosen. That you will study under the applications of Gauss law. And the fourth point is, in the left hand side of the equation, that is phi E is equal to integral E dot dA vector. Here it is due to charges present inside and outside the Gaussian surface, but the charge Q enclosed denotes the charges which lie only inside the Gaussian surface. So in the left hand side of this equation, the electric field is due to the charges present inside and outside. You have to consider the electric field which is due to the charges present inside and outside the Gaussian surface. But the enclosed charge, it depends only on the charges inside the surface, inside the closed surface. So the electric field depends on inside and outside charges, but the charge, it depends only on the surface in which the Gaussian surface is taken into account. And the fifth point is, the Gaussian surface cannot pass through any discrete charge. Discrete charge means countable number of charges. That is, the number of charges is very less. But it can pass through continuous charge distribution. It is applicable for continuous charge distribution. Because if you consider the discrete charges, the electric field is not well defined. And the sixth point is, Gauss law is another form of Coulomb's law. It is another form of Coulomb's law. So we have to treat the Gauss law much more general law than Coulomb's law. Thank you, children.
Hello students, we are now going to learn problem number 7, page number 77 from first unit. Let me read out the problems. You may follow if you have book PDF. A closed triangular box is kept in an electric field of magnitude E is equal to 2 into 10 power 3 Newton per Coulomb as shown in the figure. Calculate the electric flux through vertical, rectangular surface, slanted surface and for entire surface. Let us first draw the diagram as given in your book. This is the slanted surface. And here we have little triangular surface, and this is going to be the rectangular surface. And here electric field acts in the surface in this direction, given direction as it is from the book. This is an electric field acting. And this measurement is given as 5 centimeter. And this length is 15 centimeter as given in your book. And this angle is given as 60 degree. And it is understood this is 90 degree, and we are asked to first calculate what is the electric flux through the vertical rectangular surface. So which is the vertical rectangular surface? This is going to be the vertical rectangular surface. First we are going to calculate flux through this surface. So for finding flux through the vertical rectangular surface. Yes. And from the diagram it is understood that length is 15 centimeter and breadth is 5 centimeter. We have to find out area as 15 into 5 centimeter square, that is equal to 75 into 10 power minus 2 the whole square meter square. I have now converted centimeter into meter. So we get area is 75 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. Now what is our aim to calculate flux? Flux is actually calculated by the expression phi is equal to EA cos theta. EA cos theta, where area is found out as 75 into 10 power minus 4 meters square, and E value is given that from the problem it is 2 into 10 power 3 Newton per coulomb. And here we have to find out what is theta. Theta is the angle between E vector and area vector.